Let's do this thing. So Wendy's going to use an action. She's going to move down here. That flips the card. It gets 2 clues. And the cellar. Forced. After you enter the cellar, take a damage. Your cellar seems to have been replaced with an underground network of icy tunnels and caverns. The cold chills you to the core. So it is another victory location. So if we can clear both clues, we'll get a victory point. But big difference, Shroud 4, difficulty 4 to find clues here versus the top one, the attic, only having Shroud 1. This one's way harder. All right, plus we got this guy to deal with. So I got to not only spend pretty much an entire turn dealing with this guy, it's probably going to take me another entire turn, if not 2, to get all the clues off of here, assuming I'm not bombarded with other enemies out of this deck while trying to do it. All right, let's, well, we're here, so he now attaches to me. And as a refresh, 3 combat, 4 hit points. Do I fight or do I evade? Problem is, if I spend 1 to evade, then I've got to get the clues out of here and leave. I need at least 1 so we can advance the act, try to get to the end of the scenario. 2 would be better so I get the victory. I'd be giving up his victory point. So I think I can do a sweep. Can I kill him and get the clues and advance before our timers run out? Let's go for the kill. Why not? It's a practice run. Let's practice killing stuff. So we are going to... We spent 1 to come down to this location. We're going to spend another one. We are going to activate our backstab. So I need to spend 1, 2... Whoops. I need to spend 1, 2, 3. Play the backstab event. Going to give me a fight action that uses my agility instead of my combat value, and it's going to do 2 extra damage. So we're going to be a 4 combat or 4 attack versus his 3. So we're +1, and we'll do 3 damage if we win. I'm also going to pump this twice. I'm going to pump it twice with my hard knocks, so +1 for each. That gets us to a +3. And then we have an option to discard, like my flashlight, if we draw either a -4 or the auto fail. That's the only things that'll cause us to lose. All right, here we go. We drew the skull, which if we check the chart, -X. X is the number of ghoul enemies at your location. So we have 1 ghoul, so it's -1, but we're high enough, so we succeeded. All right, so we have inflicted 3 damage. Damage icon is the 4 on the keypad, so 1, 2, 3. He has 3 damage out of 4. I need to do a second attack. So, second attack. I am going to overpower this time to give us +2. That gets us back. I don't have the backstab this time. That's going to be the problem. So that gets us to even up. 3 against 3. Meaning, I'm going to have to spend again. Now we're +3 again, and I can still discard the flashlight. +3 -1, we're good. Alright, so that does an additional damage. That's the 4th, that's all he's got. So we can get rid of that and discard him. Actually, not discard him, we put him up in our victory display. Alright, so that's an extra victory point. Now I just need to get the clues and get the hell out of here. Do I play the flashlight to make this test a little easier? Unfortunately, this will not help me with investigate actions, and we're flat out of cards. I'm torn between playing it. That would put us at a +1 for a couple of attempts, barring any other bumps. What I might do next turn, if we don't get interrupted by enemies, is draw card, investigate. That way I have more cards to get rerolls or to contribute with. Or I can just use the skill commit +1 on the flashlight. A -1 currently. Yeah, I don't have enough other ways to increase this. I think I need to do this. I can't believe we ran our cash down. I can't believe I was at like 13 and it's already gone. All right, flashlight, you're in play. Get 3 icons. And we are out of actions. Okay, we have no enemies in play. We do upkeep. We drew guts. It's a skill bonus, so it's a willpower bonus. And if we succeed at it, we get to draw a card. Okay. Upkeep is done. No, I did not actually. Thank you for my regular damage, right? I forgot about that one. Take a damage. So we're at 4 out of 7. Not good. That puts us in almost instant kill territory against certain people. Alright, now we advance. Back to the mythos. Add 1. We're at 3 out of 7. Draw a card. We got Obscuring Fog. We are screwed. Oh my god. The timing. The timing. Basically, that, yeah, attached location gets +2 shroud. And I got no good way of pumping this damn thing. Okay. So that basically counters our flashlight. Thanks, game. Well, it wasn't a monster. So it's now up to a 6. And I'll use the flashlight to bring it back to a 4. And I'll still be at a -1 with no good way to pump it. And I have to get at least 1. Oh, man. Alright. Well, that's it for the mythos phase. Oh, that's the worst one to get here in the cellar. What to do now? I can't burgle here successfully. I'd have to move back up to the, I'd have to go back up there, really. Oh, no, that's a 1 also. We'd have to go up 1, then I could burgle for some more resources. What to do? There's no way I'm gonna realistically pass this without more cards, so let's do a card draw. See what we get. Come on. Card draw, see what we get. I don't believe this. 15 cards left, and I've got not half a dozen. I've got 4 or 5 cards we haven't seen a single copy of yet. They're all buried at the bottom of the deck with my weaknesses. This sucks. At least with this one, it gets us 2 closer, because if we fail by 2, or 2 or less, then we can still pass the test. So, I mean, it's helpful. I'd still have to use the stupid flashlight to get a -1 attempt. Ugh, meaning we'd have to get a 0, we'd have to get a -1 or better, and play lucky in order to succeed. Now, the instant we do succeed, the lock goes away, or the obscuring shroud goes away. So, and I could throw a guts in order to get a reroll. So we might be able to do this. We might be able to pull this off. We try now. Let's try now. So we'll do a 3rd one, and this time I'm going to investigate. We're going to go ahead and toss one of those tokens to activate the flashlight. -2 shroud, so it's back to the 4. We are a 3 investigate, so we're at -1 currently. I'm going to take the -1. We're going to draw the token, see what we get, and we're going to hope that it's within range of this. If it's a -1 or higher, we're good. Alright, we get a -1! Alright, so that means I do need to use lucky, so we've got to use the resource. It's a fast card, meaning I don't have to spend an action to play it, and it gets us a +2 skill value. So now we can discard that. We succeeded at the roll. We get the clue. And per the bottom, after attached location is successfully investigated, discard obscuring fog. Go away. And now we're back to the easier check for the second one. Alright, so with the flashlight, it's back down to a 2. We'd be at a +1 and a redraw possible. So let's do it. Do our last action. We gotta do the flashlight again. And yeah, so we're to +1, draw the card, or draw the token. The doom, or the skull, that's good. There's no ghouls here, so it's a 0. So we succeeded. Back you go. Got the clue. And we have cleared it. Another victory point. So we got the victory point. We got the victory point. We killed one of the toughest monsters for its victory point. We're out of actions. We're almost out of resources. We don't have a good card draw option. We do have a few more turns. If we get some light effects out of the encounter deck, I might be able to squeeze a turn or two out of burglary and getting some cards in play. Maybe. Okay, out of actions. No enemies on the board, so we'll just do upkeep. And we got the baseball bat. It finally made an appearance. 2 cost. It's an asset. It takes both hands, so if I play it, it's going to get rid of my flashlight, but the flashlight is pretty much done anyway. It did the work I needed it to do. Yeah, I don't need it anymore. So that won't be a problem. It's an item, weapon, melee. As an action, I can do a fight. I get +2 combat value, so that brings me up to a 3 combat instead of a 1. And it deals 1 damage, an extra damage, so it'll be 2 damage per swing. But if I draw either the skull or the auto-fail symbol, we have to discard the baseball bat after its attack. So we could break the bat. It's good that it finally showed, though. I need it. I needed something. I need my other backstab. That's the other thing I need. Baseball bat, backstab, and we're golden. Assuming I can get some resources. Alright, so we're done with upkeep phase. Back up top. Put another counter. We're at 4 out of 7. And we draw another card. We got Grasping Hands. Again with the Grasping Hands. This is a 3rd one we've gotten. I'm at 4 out of 7. If we auto-fail again, I'm tossing a Guts to redraw. Alright, so we're +1. We got our good result, so we succeeded. Cool. Alright, no effect. That's awesome. That's what we needed. That gives us a round to get some stuff done. And our turn. We're going to do an action. We're going to move Wendy back up to the hallway. I am not going to turn my clues in yet. I need a turn or so to get some cards and some resources. So we're going to hold off on turning in our clues to advance our act. I am instead going to burgle. So we're going to exhaust burglary as an action. And we're going to investigate. We're at a +2 by default, which is good enough. Yeah, I'm not going to modify it. We got... That's fine. That's the 0 because there's no bad guys. So we succeeded there. So we get 3 resources. Then I am going to... Do we burgle one more time and then get a card, or do we get 2 cards? I'm getting somewhat scared of my weaknesses coming out. More important. 5 resources is going to be enough. I think I've got 1 more round after this, and then I have got... That'll be 5, assuming we don't draw a card that advances it further. 6. Yeah, I think I want to do this round and 1 more prepping, and then we'll activate. See if we can time that out right. Okay, so... Let's go for... I can't burgle again, so it's going to be 2 cards. So, card. Well, 1 card first, see what we get, and then we'll decide. We got... Finally you show up! I told you I had new cards out there we hadn't seen yet. So this is one of the core items that I haven't gotten. Scavenging. 1 cost asset, no particular slot. Talent. as a reaction, after you successfully investigate by 2 or more, you can exhaust scavenging, and you can choose an item card in your discard pile and put it back in your hand. So any of the cards in here that are item cards, like my flashlights are item cards, not the skill, not the backstab. I think the flashlight's about all that's in there right now. Oh, and my rabbit's feet. So yeah. Now this would be a dual thing, because this would be, I could burgle, for example, to get resources, and if we succeed at the burglary by 2 or more, I could also activate scavenging and pull a card back into my hand. Now the card itself may not be all that important for its ability. It could just be used by me as a discard to power up my special ability to redraw a chaos token, or as a skill bonus. So that's the power. So we definitely are going to want to get that out. I think let's use our last action to get that in play. So last action, spend a point, bring scavenging in. That's one of the other key things that I've been just hoping to get, preferably before I started doing all my burglaring and other things, but we never did get it out. So I lost a bunch of opportunities for this. So that sucks, because we could have gotten probably 3 cards or so in our hand previously if we had managed to get that on the table earlier. Alright, nothing we can do about it. We're out of actions. So, moving on to upkeep. No monsters, so we hit upkeep. And my other scavenging card. You bastards, stacked right on top of each other in my deck. Who shuffled this thing? You guys saw me shuffle it like half a dozen times. And they stacked my scavenging at the bottom of my deck. 12 cards left, 2 of which are weaknesses. Alright, upkeep phase is done, still below the hand limit, and we're going back up top. Another Doom, we're at 5 out of 7. And we got Ancient Evils, place a Doom on the agenda. Yeah, and this can cause the agenda to advance. That's one of the ones I was worried about. That's going to shorten my time frame. I don't think I can wait now. That's a problem. So now we're at 6 out of 7, so after my turn, it's going to advance. I don't have the baseball bat on the board yet. I got 3 cards I can use for either discards or skill bonuses. These 2 are only for willpower, though. I could let it advance, deal with the advance effect, and then turn it in, triggering the final section. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait it out. I think it's more powerful for me to get my baseball bat into play. We're mostly done with investigating. I guess I could use this to auto pass the burglary. No, these are 2 different card actions. Can't do that. Can't tag team those. I can tag team that or an investigate plus that, but I can't do both of these together. Yeah, let's power up. So let's get that out. We will toss that. Bring out the baseball bat. Then let's burgle. I wish to burgle. And I'm going to use that for the +1 for the skill test. So that takes us to +3. If we succeed by 2 or more, I can pull an item. Let's hope we succeed by 2 or more. We did. Cool. Alright, so we're burgled, so we're exhausting that. We're getting 1, 2, 3 resources. Then I'm reaction scavenging. We succeeded by 2 or more, so I get to choose an item from my discard pile. Back to search. Give me... I think I'll grab a rabbit's foot. Rabbit's foot gives me a wild card skill change. There's no other critical items in there, so yeah, let's pull a rabbit's foot out back into my hand. Alright, next action. Actually, that was the second action. First action was the baseball bat. 2 to go. 6 resources. Kind of know what's coming, but I think I'm going to have to do at a minimum 2 more fights at least. So I'd like more resources so I can make sure I can pump things appropriately. And I want my other backstab card. That would make my life so much easier. And I need more cards in my hand anyway. So we got a weapon out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna draw a card. We got manual dexterity. That's for evade. Not what I was hoping for. Let's draw another card. Still haven't seen a weakness. We're due. Backstab! Alright, now we're set. Oh, man, I wish I'd gotten that just a wee bit earlier. I would have triggered things. I would have done it. Alright, well, we're out of options. We're out of cards. We got a decent handful. We got enough resources. We can do some pump. No enemies on the board, so we hit upkeep. We got a knife, one of the other minor weapons out. We'll use it just for the skill asset bonus and then pull it back if we can. Although probably won't be doing much more burglaring or anything. It's just fight to the finish from here. Alright, upkeep is complete. Still under the card limit. We're at 6. So, let's see what we draw. Alright, 7. Reset. Pull the card, flip it over. What does it say? A feral beast, roughly humanoid with a canine cast and hooves for feet, tears through the ground in front of you. Below the floor, you can see vast tunnels beneath your house. Fiendish howling echoes from deep within the underground caverns. Search the encounter discard pile shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a ghoul enemy is discarded. Lead investigator draws that enemy. Alright. So we take this, flip it, add it, shuffle it. And then we start discarding until we see an enemy. There we go. We got the Flesh Eater. Not a good one. One of the worst. Well, good, bad. It's the other victory guy. It's the only other victory point we have not secured yet. So, yay? I guess. All right. He's coming after me. He has no... Oh, he spawns in the attic. He spawns in the attic. Does that counter... That can't counter that. He's got a special location. Yeah. 99% of the cards would attach to me, but he spawns in the attic. So, I'm going to have to go get him, basically. It's going to cost me more actions. Hey, rules reference. Trying to remember. I don't think you can supersede that. Nope, don't want that. Page 19, huh? Yeah, all enemy spawn instruction resolves as the enemy enters play, regardless of how it entered play. I'm going to take that to be... I am playing it correctly. Alright, so the spawn location overwrites the attaches to me. I have the option to ignore him. I could just say, you know, screw you. He's not going to move. He doesn't have the hunter trait, so he won't come to me. It's just a question of, do I want to chase the victory point? Do I want to go for a flawless victory? Do I think I have time? Let's finish the rest of the stuff, and then we'll figure that out. So that was just advancing the agenda. That was done by that. So let's read the next part. So 3A, they're getting out. You hear a crazed howl outside, and suddenly all the creatures turn their attention to that sound. They rush to escape the house, breaking down doors and clawing at everything in their way. Yeah, that's 3A. So forced, at the end of the enemy phase, each unengaged ghoul enemy moves one location towards the parlor. The end of round, place one doom on this agenda for each ghoul enemy in the hallway or parlor. So he'll come to me. The problem with that is the timing. Let me think of the timing here. So at the end of the enemy phase, so he'll do his phase, then that's when he attacks, then he will move. So he won't get a free attack on me. But if I don't deal with him at the end of the round, he gets a doom token. So the doom will advance twice as fast. All right. We'll be okay. That lets me spend a turn powering up further. He will come to me, and then I'll be able to deal with him the turn after that before he gets an attack on me. We'll be okay. That's kind of the perfect way for that to kind of set up. That gives me one round to prepare even further. He'll get here. I'll kill him in a round. And then probably the round after, depending on what next encounter card we draw, I'll trigger kind of the final phase here. All right, so we're all done. Oh, we haven't drawn our card yet. That's right. That was just advancing the agenda. So we still have to draw a bad card. Could be another enemy. We got Frozen in Fear. Put Frozen in Fear into play in your threat area. The first time you perform one of the following actions, move, fight, or evade each round, it costs one additional action. Forced, at the end of your turn, test Willpower 3. If you succeed, discard Frozen in Fear. Alright. So, if I don't move, fight, or evade, which I wasn't planning to this round, then there's no real effect, and I get to make a Willpower check. And we're a 4 versus a 3 test, so we're +1 to begin with, and I've got these Guts cards we can toss in. That'll get us to +3, and then we'll also get to draw a card if we succeed. So we're good. That's actually an okay card for us right now. Okay, so things I have to remember. We got to remember the timing on that, just to do the resist check at the end, and then I have to remember that. All right. So we're done with the Mythos phase. Now it's our turn to do things. So it's power up time. We're at 6 cards in hand. There's not much else I want to put on the table, and we're going to get my weaknesses here pretty quick. There's not much left. I really need to end this. So, I think I might just draw 4 resources. I really don't want to draw cards at this point. I've got everything I need. If I just can max pump my hard knocks for the various tests I'm going to be doing, that's really all I need. I could burgle. That would be a single action to burgle and get me the 3 resources. I can do that once. So let's do that first. We'll burgle. We'll tap burgle. We are at a +2 because we're at a 1 shroud location and we have 3, so we're +2 to start with. I'd like to keep as many cards as I can, but we might not get to scavenge, which isn't super important right now, actually. Yeah, let's just take the +2 roll, and I have the option to discard to redraw. So +2, and we succeeded. Man, that thing's come up a lot this run. We've been pretty lucky on those, short of that one auto fail we got early. So we successfully burgled, and we did succeed high enough that I can do the scavenge. So we'll do the 1, 2, 3 for the burglary. Do I want to scavenge? That'll put me at 7, and we'll draw another card at upkeep, put me at 8. So we're okay there. Pull the other rabbit's foot. Yeah, let's pull the other rabbit's foot. Alright, so we use the reaction ability there to get an item from our discard pile. Next up, Done the burgle. Let's yeah, let's just get more resources this round. Get 3 more. We're done. That will give me probably 3 good pumps, which I'm going to need, because I'm going to need probably 2 to get rid of that stupid ghoul coming down, and then I'm going to need multiples for what will happen after. Lots going to depend on what cards we draw over the next 2 turns. Alright, we are done. So now we got to be careful about the timing here. So the end of the enemy phase. It is now the enemy's phase. Normally he does not move. This would be his opportunity to move, but he's not a hunter, so he doesn't move on his own. He also doesn't get to attack me, so his move and attack phases are done. Then he gets force moved via this. At the end of the enemy phase, the ghoul moves towards the parlor, so he's coming down to me, and he'll engage me. That phase is now complete. At the end of the round, which is right after I hit upkeep, a doom goes on the agenda. So, alright, we'll hit upkeep. We are now at 8 cards. We pulled a perception card for, you know, investigation. Not too useful for any reason. It's useful for a discard. So it's useful as a discard for my ability. So it's actually okay. It's not a weakness, at least. Alright, so we're good there. Ghouls engage with us. Now we have to add a doom counter. And we are complete for the round. That is everything. Back up to the Mythos phase. Now at the beginning of the Mythos phase, we add another doom. We got to 10. We got to get things done. I can't drag this out too much further. It's going to get real dangerous for us. And we draw a card. Oh, I forgot to do my willpower check. I got to do my willpower check. So I am going to commit this card to the willpower check. That gives us a +3. So we're 4 versus a test of 3. We're +1, and I'm adding 2 from that card's abilities, or a skill in the upper left. Or +3 with a reroll if we need it. We drew a -3. That's fine. So +3 to -3 is 0. As long as we equal the difficulty, we're good. So we succeeded. Goodbye, you. And now we do the card. We drew Swarm of Rats. More rats. Now I have 2 enemies to deal with. And that also means, well, that's not a ghoul, so that won't advance the doom. That guy will. Alright, this will be an interesting round. And that's it for the Mythos phase. Moving on to my turn. What to do? Gotta get rid of this guy. I want the victory point. 4 against 4. Here's the problem. I only have 1 backstab, and something worse is about to show up. So, this guy's also only got 1 agility. He's easy to avoid, but that won't keep the doom counter from advancing, and it won't get me the victory point. I really was hoping to keep my backstab. That means I'm going to have to hit him multiple times with my baseball bat, and we'll have to re-roll if we do the symbols that cause us to break the bat. I need him twice, so I think we can do it. Problem is I'm starting from 1. So we're -3 to begin with. My 1 versus his 4. So we got to make up the -3. I've got a couple of wild card bonuses I could throw in. And the knife. And then we have our use resources again. Ideally, we kill him in 2, and we kill the rat in 1, and then I can burgle with my last one. That's what I'm hoping for this round. And then we're going to turn in our clues and hit the final stage. Let's do an action. Use the baseball bat to fight. We get +2, so that brings us up to a 3 versus a 4. We're at -1 so far. I'm going to commit the knife. That brings us up to even Stevens. So we'll commit the knife for the +1 combat value. Get a rabbit's foot 2 for +1. And then pump it for 2 to get us to +3. That's really where I'd like to be at, is +2 or +3 with a reroll. Maybe I'll just take the +2 with the reroll option, and because I'd use a card to get to +3, or I can just take a reroll and discard to get to get a chance. Let's get to +2. And then we'll do a reroll if we need to. Alright, here we go. We got... Ooh, dang it. We're going to discard Perception for a reroll. That's okay, because that's just ghoul enemies, so it's just -1, so we're okay. Alright, so we got the first hit on him, so he now has 2 damage. Whoops. No, wrong key. Alright, 2 out of 4. We need another hit. Second action. Baseball bat again. So we're still at 3, 4. We're still at -1 to start. To get me to +2, and we'll take the chaos die or chaos bag. All right, that one is different. That one is -2. We were +2, so we're good. We do take a damage though, unfortunately. So that takes us to 5 of our 7. We are close to dying, but we did get rid of the big ghoul, and he is worth a victory point. So we'll put him up in our victory display. Alright. Next action. Baseball bat again. That puts us at +2 to start, because that takes us to a 3 versus his 1. And we only need 1 damage. So we'll just take this fight straight up. Get rid of that token. +2. And again, a damage. I'm going to die to the chaos bag, plinking me to death. Oh no, there's no ghoul. We're okay. My bad. No ghoul. So he's dead. Oh, man. Alright. We survived all that. And then we're going to do the last action. Gonna have to go one more round of stuff happening to me. We're down to our last 2 hit points. Do I want a card? I really kind of don't want a card at this point. I know I'm going to end up drawing my weakness before we finish this, and it's going to suck. Let's burgle. Or burgle again. We're at a +2 again. We succeeded, so... And we succeeded by 2. So let's grab one of our still got my rabbit's feet. I guess it's the knife. Okay, we're out of actions. We cleared the enemies. Hopefully it stays clear. It's really going to come down to what this next card is, because I'm kicking things off next round. Okay, so our effects up here, there's no enemies on the board, so we're not going to get any of the effects from that. So let's just do our upkeep. See if we draw my weakness. Yep. Oh, no, we got our amulet finally. I mean, it's not going to do me any good as the amulet now, but this is the special card for Wendy that she starts with. So Wendy Adams deck only. You may play the topmost event in your discard pile as if it were in your hand. Forced, after you play an event or discard an event from play, place it on the bottom of your deck instead of back in your discard pile. So that prevents you from cycling it continuously. But basically, whatever the topmost event is in this deck, I could play that like it was in my hand. So if we played the amulet down. I think it's from here backwards. So that's a skill. No. That's an event card. Yeah, so we'd be able to play Lucky, basically. Just straight out of my discard pile. Now, once we did it, it would go to the bottom of our actual deck instead of going back into this pile. So, I mean, good to have early. We just didn't get that going. And this deck's not really designed for using the amulet for its intended purpose. We actually want to use it for the 2 wildcard skill upgrades. So we'll commit this card to a skill check, and we get 2 points of anything we want. And then we pull it back out of the deck with scavenging, and we do it again. And then we pull it back out, and we do it again. So we're going to use it for that ability, not for the actual main ability. Okay, so that's great. That was a really good card draw for us. So we're up to 13 resources. We got a good hand of cards. We got our backstab. We dealt with the other big enemy. Yeah, we're in pretty good shape, except for the 2 hit points left. That scares me a lot. We're almost going to get a perfect run. Almost. We'll see. All right, so we did upkeep. Time to do the agenda, or the bad stuff again. We're up to 3 out of 10. A lot of time available there. That's not what I'm worried about. And draw a card. What do we get? We got Dissonant Voices. You cannot play assets or events. That's kind of sucks. So it basically stuns me for a round. I can't play assets or events. That's actually gives me another round of power up. I'm not planning on playing assets. I'm planning on committing cards. But that would prevent me from doing my backstab. So that's a big reason for me not to fire it off this round. We're going to have to wait one more round and pray we don't get another one of these next round. That one kind of sucks. All right, so you're in our threat area. We'll remember to get rid of you at the end of the round. Our turn again. How do we want to handle this? I can't play assets to the board, which I wasn't planning on doing anyway. We're at 7 out of 8 cards. We're going to draw a card at the end of the round. I guess we're back to burgling for assets. Really get stacked up so we can guarantee successes. So let's burgle. Again, we're at +2. -1 is a success, but we only succeeded by 1, so I can't use my scavenging on that one. But we still get the 3 resources. Burgle is complete. Let's do... Don't want to draw cards. I think I'm just going to fast forward through the round and take more resources. Oops. And then we'll discard that. No enemies. Go to upkeep. We're now at our max hand size, and there it is. We knew it was going to come. So... Atychophobia? Yep, Atychophobia. Madness. Revelation. Put it into play in your threat area. After you fail a skill test, take a horror. Or spend 2 actions to discard that card. Alright, into our threat area you go. I've got to remind me to take a horror if I fail a skill test, which we shouldn't be failing many skill tests from here forward. We do have a little room for horror. We got 6 more horror points. So that was our random weakness that we drew. We still have our signature weakness in there. Next up. That was not great. So we're done with upkeep. Back up to the Mythos phase. Advance. Draw a card. We got Grasping Hands again for the 5th time. we shuffled the deck, so they're coming back through again. This could kill me. If we fail this, we could die. We're not gonna fail it, because, I mean, I can re-roll. So I'd have to re-roll, like, the auto-fail twice, or the -4 twice, or depending on how high I pump this to make sure we don't fail it. So, what are we gonna do? We're at a +1 to start. If I bump it twice, then we would need to roll, we'd need to pull the -4 or the auto-fail, and I'd still be able to re-roll it. I think that's what we'll do. I don't have any agility card. Well, I do, actually. I have manual dexterity. Maybe we'll throw this. That way I can use, I'll keep the resources. That's what this is exactly for. We'll draw another card. That's fine. All right. We'll use that. So now we're going to be at a 6 versus a 3, so we're +3. -2 is a success, so goodbye you. And because we succeeded, we get to draw another card. And we got the manual decks back. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, we survived another round. Time to kick this thing off. I don't care about this. You can stay. Alright, so we're going to move up top. We're going to go ahead and trigger this. Pull that, flip it over. And it reads, using the barrel from the attic, you carry ice and snow from the cellar and hurl it at the barrier. The barrier sparks and shudders as it consumes the ice, then hisses and fades out of existence. The barrier blocking the passage into the parlor has vanished. Reveal the parlor. Put the set-aside Lita Chandler into play in the parlor, and set the set-aside Ghoul Priest in the hallway. Alright, so up to this point, we have not been able to travel through here because there was a magical barrier blocking the way. Barrier's gone. This parlor is now flipped and revealed. The parlor says, location, 2 shroud value, no clues. We can, as an action in this location, resign. This is too much for me. You run out the front door, fleeing in panic. And then in addition, while Lita Chandler is not controlled by a player, she gains the action parlay test against 4 intellect. If you succeed, take control of Lita Chandler. So basically, we could move into the parlor, spend an action to parlay with her, and then we have to do an investigator intellect test. And we're a 3 intellect versus a 4 test, so we'd be starting it at -1. I don't have a lot of ability to upgrade that via some skill test cards. But that would bring her under our control, and we'd be able to add her to our deck. This character, I am not real enthused about getting Lita, because you can only have 1 ally for this character. I don't have a way of increasing my ally count that I'm going to use. And I need Leo. I need my 4 actions. So I'm always going to prefer Leo over Lita. So in this situation, I am not going to try to go over there and parlay with her. We're just going to deal with the Ghoul Priest. And that'll be the end of the scenario. So let's go grab the cards we need. There is the Ghoul Priest. Ghoul Priest is going to attach to me because I'm in the hallway where the Ghoul Priest appears. And then Lita is going to go over into the parlor. So Lita's pretty powerful and pretty good. If you didn't have the restriction like I have, you might seriously consider going over and getting her. There's Lita, the Zealot. She's a 0-cost asset. Costs nothing to put into play other than the action to play an asset. And she's an ally character, which is the slot I don't want to take up. I need Leo to be my ally. But while you control Lita Chandler, she gains... Each investigator at your location gets +1 combat. And as a reaction, when an investigator at your location successfully attacks a monster enemy, that investigator deals +1 damage. So, very important. Yeah, so she can be pretty powerful, especially that thing where she helps each investigator at a location. So if you're playing with 2, 3, 4 investigators, everybody's getting that bonus. So that's the really important part. We're going to pretty much ignore her, though. I'm not going to deal with her. So let's read the rest of the card information. So we've done all that. That's all done. We'll put that aside. And the top card here, which is the last card in our Act deck. What have you done? A woman with a torch stands in your parlor, a glimmer of hatred in her eyes. What have you done to my barrier? She screams, furious. Before you can answer, a ghastly wail sounds behind you, and a creature wearing robes and a deerskull mask tears through the wall, advancing towards you. Objective: if the ghoul priest is defeated, advance. So that's it. We just got to kill this guy that just appeared on top of us, and then we'll get to advance, which will flip this card over, and we'll see what the results are. Okay, we're in really good shape for this. So we've got the ghoul priest. Let's go look at him. Here's the ghoul priest. He's the toughest enemy, period. He's the boss of the scenario. He's got 4 attack value, so we've got a 1 attack. He's got a 4. He's got 5 health. He's got 4 evade, which is what we would have to compare against with our agility to try to evade him. He's a humanoid monster ghoul elite. He goes after the prey with the highest combat value. That's a tiebreaker for which investigator if there's multiple at a location. Since there's just me, he's going after me. He has the hunter trait, which means he will follow you if you move. And he also has retaliate. If you do a combat action against him and you fail, he gets to hit you for the damage that he does. He gets to retaliate instantly. And he inflicts 2 health and 2 sanity every time he attacks. So that's extremely dangerous. A figure in red robes wearing a bone mask. It gibbers and snarls before leaping to attack. Alright, so we do not want to let him attack me. And I also do not want to let him trigger his retaliate ability. So, we're going to be pumping the hell out of some actions and getting rid of this guy. We've got enough. I think we should be able to easily deal with this guy. Okay. So, with nothing else to worry about, I'm not concerned about that. There's no other enemies to deal with. I should be able to finish this guy this round and finish the scenario. We're well prepared for this situation. I'm glad I took all that time to get all this set up. So we're going to do backstab. That's going to get us to use our agility. So it'll be 4 against 4 for the combat value. So we'll start even up. I can hard knocks bonus for an additional 4, which makes it so only the auto-fail token is a possibility for us to not succeed. And if I do the auto-fail, I can discard a card to redraw a token. Now, I might do it twice. If I auto-fail twice, we're going to keep a video record of that nonsense. But hopefully that won't happen. That'll be 2 1 in 16 chances. And I've got enough points that I can pump as much as I want, basically. So, let's start with the backstab. It is a fight action. I have to spend 3 for the cost of the card itself. So we'll play that. That gets us the 4 on 4 for 2 extra damage. It's going to do 3 damage total if we succeed. He's got 5. So if I hit him with the backstab and I hit him with the baseball bat, he's done. Because we'll do 3 with the backstab, 2 with the baseball bat. That's what we're gunning for. So I should have plenty to ensure that this happens. Alright, so we're even up so far. I can commit cards as well. We have the amulet here. I could throw 2 combat value off of that and save resources for the next attack. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4. I can basically... Oh, actually, I can do manual dexterity right now and get the 2 combat value off of that. Let's do that. We're committing that for 2, so we're now up to +2. And we get to draw a card. I'll probably forget that, but if we succeed, we get a card. We are absolutely going to succeed. I think that's it. Let's spend 2 more, and that gets us to a +4. So with a +4, and the contents of the bag are this, the only thing that will cause us to lose is this. Because we're +4, so the -4 will be a 0, and 0 is good enough to succeed. So everything else won't matter. None of these have enough of an effect to cause us to lose. If we draw that, that's actually bad, because that does another damage to us, because he is a ghoul. So we could kill ourselves, actually, if we drew 2 of these. That would be such a terrible way to go. I would really hate that way to go. To be this close to total victory and then lose by those draws. Alright, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go for it. +4 with a reroll. We drew a -1. That's perfectly fine. So we did succeed. We've done 3 damage to him so far. So that's 1, 2, 3. He's got 2 remaining. We succeeded, so we get a card draw, which I kind of don't want. Yep, there's our other weakness. Take 2 direct horror and remove all cards in your discard pile from the game. 1, 2 direct horror, and my entire discard pile gets pulled from the game. Okay, thanks. All right, we haven't failed a horror check, or I failed a skill test, so we're still good on that one. Next up, one more fight, and we're done, and we'll survive that other token now. So now we have to do the baseball bat. So that was our first action. Second action, we're gonna be using the baseball bat. We get +2. This time we don't get to use this, so it's going to be 1 + 2 is 3 versus his 4. So we're at -1 currently. So we're going to discard that for the skill bonus, the 2 wild cards in the top left corner. So we're going to discard that. So that gets us to +1, +2, +3, +4. And that's I haven't used any skill stuff, so we're at +4 already without using a pump. Pumping it doesn't do anything because the auto fail is now the only thing that will have us not succeed, and I need to keep 1 card for the reroll just in case. So let's actually keep 2 cards, and we'll use 1 resource to pump. All right, so we're still at +4. Let's go. And we got the good one again, so we succeeded again. All right, that's awesome. So we do an additional 2 points of damage. 1 normal, +1 for the bat. That's 2 points. He had 5. He is destroyed. And I just want the token to go away. He goes up into our victory display. And that means as soon as he is gone, objective, if the ghoul priest is defeated, advance. So we flip that over. And it says, when the robed creature falls, the fiendish swarm burrows back into the ground, and the chaos of the house quiets, but the stranger in your parlor doesn't seem relieved. You broke my seal that was set to trap the ghouls within. She raises her torch. Now we must take more direct measures and burn this hell pit to the ground. The lead investigator must decide. Choose one. It was never much of a home. Burn it down, which leads to resolution 1. Or, this hell pit is my home. No way are we burning it. Which leads to resolution 2. We're going to say, no way, don't burn my house. And there we go. That ends the scenario info. So, let's go do a few things. First, we're going to go look at our little campaign book here. So we got resolution 2. So it says at the top, if no resolution was reached, meaning we were either defeated or we chose to resign, you would read that top section. Resolution 1 is if you burn it. And then resolution 2, middle left, is what we're reading. So you refuse to follow the overzealous woman's order and kick her out of your home for fear that she will set it ablaze without your permission. Fools! You're making a grave mistake, she warns. You do not understand the threat that lurks below. The grave danger we're all in. Still shaken by the night's events, you decide to hear the woman out. Perhaps she can shed some light on these bizarre events, but she doesn't seem to trust you very much. In your campaign log, record that your house is still standing. So, let's go to our campaign log here. Zoom in a bit. This is Wendy. No, this is Vorm. This is Wendy. We'll tally up our experience in a minute. Campaign notes. House not burned. Next up. Lead investigator earns 1 experience as he or she refuses to let the night's events destroy his or her life. So we gain an experience. Next up, each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. Remember to add eligible locations to the display. Each investigator earns 2 bonus experience as he or she gains insight into the hidden world of the mythos. Alright, so on the table we have victory 1 here. We did clear all the clues off, so we'll go ahead and pull that up to our display. And then we also cleared all the clues off of that one for another victory point. This one does not have any, and the earlier map didn't have any either. The study that we started in. Now we count up our points and we add 2. So we have 6 in the display. 1 for the icy ghoul, 1 for the flesh eater, 2 for the priest, 1 for the location, 1 for the location. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 8 total XP. All right, and we don't read Resolution 3. Then goes to the next campaign. So go to campaign part 2, the Midnight Masks. And depending on certain things that happened here, carryover would occur depending on if your house burned down or not, depending on if you defeated the ghoul priest or not. There's kind of effects that carry forward. So this was the first campaign, the Gathering, our first scenario in the campaign. Next, we'll move on to the Midnight Masks, and when we start that one, we'll read the various changes that occur because of what happened in the first one. But between then and now, what I will do is I will be able to expend my experience points. So, we don't have to do anything else here. Yeah, we've completed that scenario. And if you die during an investigation, then you, depending on if you die from physical damage or mental damage, you would increment this to show trauma. And basically you go into the next scenario with 1 less of that stat because of your defeat previously. We didn't have that problem. So I get to spend 8 experience points. And the way that works is you have your deck of cards here. And let's actually pull the cards. Pull you. Flip and group. Alright, so you have your deck of cards. 33, 30 of them you pick and upgrade, and the 3 special cards, or amulet, or 2 weaknesses. But you take your cards and you get to upgrade them. So the way that works kind of in general, I'll just pull one to look at. Let's use not those. Show me here's a good one. Maybe backstab. Let's do lucky. Lucky's nice and simple. So the cards have these little symbols in the top left underneath the number, the cost that it is. So this is a cost 1 shown in the upper left, and there's those little gray symbols there. There's 5 of them. That shows the experience level of the card. This one is a 0 level card. All the cards in my deck currently are 0 level. You always start at 0 level. And then when you go through the campaign, after each scenario, you gain XP, depending on how it went, and you get to spend that XP upgrading cards. So you would then go look through the cards that you have available in your collection, if you're playing with the real world cards. And in this case, we've got the core set cards, for example. And you would look through these, and if we do, let's actually do it this way. Let's type in a specific card. We'll type in lucky, just so we can bring up those options. Not plucky. I don't want plucky. I want lucky. All right. So if we take a look at these 3 copies, that's 3 different versions of lucky. That's the 0 cost, the 2 cost, and the 3 cost, or 2 XP and 3 XP. So they get better at each XP level. So when you go to this one, it changes the fact that you get to draw a card. So this one doesn't have the draw a card effect. So for 2 XP, you can upgrade this card to this one, and when you play it, in addition to what you had before, you get to replace the card, basically. You get to draw a card. If you go all the way and spend 3 XP, then in addition to the normal or initial value, they get +3 to their skill value for the test. So you're going up from +2 to +3 and getting to draw a card. So you get the extra card, then you get the extra card, plus it's a 3 instead of a 2. And that's kind of how it works. So most of the cards, a fair number of the cards have upgrade paths, and you spend your XP to get your upgrades after each scenario. Oh, does that let you apply it to other... I didn't look. Play when an investigator at your location. Oh, yeah, that's really powerful. That's much bigger. This one you can only play on yourself. This one you can only play on yourself. I didn't notice this one had the extra text for play when an investigator at your location would fail a test. So if your buddy has an important test, you could play this. It doesn't cost anything to play. It's a 0 cost in addition. So you get a cost savings. You get to play it on other players, and it's a +3. Man, that's cool. Now, This one is out of a specific set. I don't know which set this comes out of. I don't know that symbol. But I, for example, don't have whatever the real world equivalent of this card is. I don't have all these set symbols memorized. But so I don't have access to that one currently in my real world play. But in the digital version, you know, we can use anything we want in the existing card stocks. But that's how it works. So you would go through the deck and you would find card upgrades. So, for example, we have Beat Cop, a 2 experience Beat Cop, has additional things and so on. And you can sort the cards in the module here however you want. We can clear everything out. Yeah, whatever. So if I want to just look at upgrade cards for Guardians, for example, this is the level 1 to 5 experience cards just for the Guardian class. And I could go through here and pick and choose whichever cards that I want to add to my deck. You have to maintain the deck size, so if you're going to add a card, you have to remove a card. When you're doing upgrades, you just take out the old versions and put in the new versions. And you can swap cards. There's rules for all that stuff. I'm not going to go into that stuff right now. But at this point, I just need to decide what upgrades I want to do, and then reset the board for the next adventure, and we'd be off and running. Let's go ahead and create a campaign save token. Let's see, save object. Let's call it something else. Solo Wendy 1. Alright. So I'll be able to reset the map and then re-import that and just kick right off. Alright, well there you go. That's Arkham Horror, the living card game. The very first scenario in the revised core set, a solo playthrough of just Wendy. I can play multiple characters, which is probably what I'll do when I do a full campaign playthrough. I'll probably take Wendy through the other 2 scenarios here in the next few days, just to finish out this playthrough. But my intent is to play through the campaigns in the order they're released with a 2 investigator team. So I'll play both investigators, so it'll be 2-handed solo instead of playing true solo. So I need to pick another character. And of the starter set, I clear this. Of the starter set characters, we've got Wendy, who's the scavenger. Roland is the guardian. He's the more heavy combat and also investigation focused for getting clues is kind of his bent. We have Daisy Walker, the librarian. She's a seeker. She's kind of magic and investigation. They're the best at finding clues, and they have spells and tomes and things like that. Then we got Skids O'Toole. He's a rogue class, so all their stat blocks are different. All their special abilities are different. Their health and sanity counts and so on. And then we've got Agnes Baker, the sorcerer. She's a mystic. Leans more heavily into the combat magic side instead of the investigation magic type stuff. So those are the starter characters in the revised core set. I have a few of the other campaigns. I'm trying to generally stick, at least while I have the ones ahead of where I'm at in the digital version, trying to stick with the ones that I've got physical ownership of. But yeah, so I'll try to get to the other 2 here in the next few days with Wendy. I'm curious if I can push all the way through with Wendy. I'm pretty new to the game, so I'm still learning some of the rules. I know things get pretty esoteric and complicated in regards to timing and card effects as you get more and more of these campaigns. There's so many cards possible, so many effects, so many very critical timing sequences that it can get kind of scary in trying to figure some of that stuff out. I'm sure I'll start running into mistakes there, but I think we covered this one pretty cleanly. I don't think I missed too many things in the rules and the processes, so that's it for now. I think I'm done. I'm going to go get something to eat real quick, or a snack, and probably head to bed. But that's Arkham Horror, the card game. My new obsession in real life and also in digital. So hope you enjoyed it. There will be more to come, whether you enjoyed it or not, because I like the game quite a bit. The campaign aspects, the taking different characters into different adventures, the deck building options with all the different cards you can choose from for deck synergies and so on. Appeals to me greatly. So, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great evening. Stay safe.